there just so we have that as the children leave the sanctuary. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of New Bedford. I'm Dave Labrie.
I'm Camilla Brooks.
And we are members of the Religious Services Committee. We are a beloved community of people who believe that everyone is worthy of respect. Science is real. The democratic process is a sacred thing, that we are all a part of an interconnected web, and the light and energy we share and put out makes a difference in the world.
We are people of purpose, and if what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you'll consider becoming part of the Way Cool family of seekers and keepers of this long dream, which is our church.
First Unitarian in New Bedford recognizes that the land we inhabit and enjoy sits on the unceded ancestral land of the Wampanoag, people of the First Light. We actively commit ourselves to the process of working to dismantle the legacy of colonialism and oppression of our country's native people and all who have been marginalized.
We want to welcome you, and there are just a few housekeeping issues. Please sign the blue card if you're new, and join us for coffee hour after the service downstairs. We are live streaming, and if you like, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel. And please put your phones on worship mode. Thank you.
And today we have a guest speaker. Reverend Shiloh Hoffman is a hospice chaplain and certified dementia practitioner with Hospice Services of Massachusetts. They received their Master's in Divinity from Meadville Lombard Theological School in 2024. They also serve as a volunteer crisis counselor with the Trevor Project, a suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for the LGBTQ+ community, young people. Reverend Shiloh enjoys hanging out with their wife and 2 cats in their spare time, baking, and playing early 2000s video games. And now we will have our chalice lighting. Would one of our children like to come up and light the chalice? All right, would one of our larger people like to come up and light the chalice? Thank you so much. And as we light the chalice, we will bring up Reverend Hoffman, who has some opening words for us.
Good morning, dear ones, New Bedford friends. It's so good to be together. As we center ourselves, as we light our chalice, I invite us to take a deep breath, feeling the spirit of life and love that moves within, between, and beyond us all. Our opening words come from the wisdom of Kim Mason, and their words are entitled, "A Holy Alchemy." Once upon a time, chemists believed they could transform lead into gold or death into life. We laugh, but are we not also in the business of alchemy, turning loneliness into connection, pain into comfort, anger into solidarity, faith into action? The subtle magic of church combines love with justice, creates hope out of fear, transforms individuals into community. Here, we engage in a holy alchemy, finding beauty in the ordinary and life in the present. Come, let us be transformed together. I invite us all now to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 187, in your gray hymnal. It sounds along the ages.
Please stay standing and take a moment to greet one another and remain standing for our covenant.
Now, while everyone is still standing, we will read our covenant. The words are in your order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the spirit of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. And now Reverend Hoffman has our story for all ages.
It's so good to be with you all. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. This is my first time here. I'll shout out my wife, who's sitting in the back as usual, and we are kind of recently residents of New Bedford. We live like a 10-minute walk away, and this is just such an awesome place. So thank you for the warm welcome. It's so good to be here. I wonder if you feel, raise your hand if something in life has ever completely blown your mind. Like you learned something new and you were like, wow, what? I feel like it happens to me regularly. That exact same thing happened to the lead in our story. And our story begins with an egg. And there's someone inside of this egg. Ooh, I think I can hear her. You see, Gabriella, our main character, was a beautiful dragon with rainbow scales that glistened and glowed in every color. And she lived in this very egg. She's in there right now. And Gabriella loved her egg. Her egg had absolutely everything she needed. It was the perfect round shape that she could easily kind of cuddle into. And it was warm. It let in a gentle light. And it reflected the beauty of her scales on the inside. For Gabriella, this egg right here was her entire world. And as Gabriella grew up, she began to make out sounds from outside the egg. She could hear chirping sounds, singing. She could hear the roaring thunder. She could hear little thumps and flops of creatures she had never known existed before. She no longer only saw her own reflective, sparkling scales, but soft shadows of something outside. She thought she was the only being in her whole world. So this kind of blew her mind. But there were others just outside this really thin shell. Gabriella imagined what these creatures must be like. Whether they had scales like hers, if they enjoyed curling up into a little ball like she did. She often made up stories about them and pictured them in their comfy eggs and what they must have been like. So some time passed, and Gabriella grew bigger and bigger and bigger inside of her egg. And she tried to tell herself that her world was still beautiful and comfy and much better than whoever was outside and whatever was outside. And all the while, her neck started getting a little bit of a crink in it. She had aches in her back along her long spine, and she longed to stretch out her tail and her wings. But suddenly, Gabriella heard a tapping right next to her face on the side of her shell. She had never heard something like this before, and she was like, "Who are you?" And she heard a voice calling, "Hello in there." She was so scared. What were they trying to do? What were they trying to communicate? "Who are you?" "I'm a friend, dear one. I've come to get you." "Get me? Oh, geez." And Gabriella tried and failed to scurry back into her egg, but she was too big and her egg was too small. "Well, no, not get you, honey. I've come because we need you. We need you out in the world with us, friend. It's time. The world's knocking. Hello." Gabriella was awfully confused. "Why do you need me, though? I'm fine just where I am." "Well, we need everyone, beloved. The world isn't complete without you." "But I don't know anyone," Gabriella said, "or anything about your world. What can I do?" Well, Gabriella, all of us together make a complete picture. All of our unique scales and thoughts and feelings, we each need each other. And we'd love to finally meet you and know you. Don't y'all want to meet her? She's super cute, right? She must be. All you need to do is give yourself a little crack, and we'll help you out the rest of the way. Gabriella felt something she'd never felt before. In her solitude, she'd never known what it was like to love. She wondered what that even was. She'd never felt wanted, needed, or a part of something from inside of her lonely egg. But she felt this warmth spread in her heart. And though she was scared, the warmth glowed right through. She hesitated, and then slowly, she tapped the shell with her beak. A crack formed, and it let into her shell a great light. Gabriella felt she couldn't stop now. She made a little opening at the top, and she just needed someone to reach inside and give her a hand. Are you guys ready? Are you sure? Yeah. I think Gabriella's maybe ready too. And our beloved Gabriella, our courageous Gabriella, out of her egg, for us to be able to experience her in all of her color and all of her authenticity. All she needed was a hand outstretched. Have you ever felt like you've been in your own little shell for a little while? I have felt that way before. And sometimes community comes at just the right moment to crack us open and to let our truth and our light shine. And so, beloveds, this week, my prayer for you is that you have a cracking open moment, or you help someone with their cracking open moment, and that we can celebrate our beingness together. Thank you. We'll now move into our candles of joy and sorrow. And I'll leave our little friend up here.
And now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys and concerns. If you have something you'd like to share, please come forward, tell us your name, and briefly tell us what you would like to share, and I will light the candles.
This has been a pretty busy week for me because I just started my new job at the New Z. I'm a stagehand. so I get to set up for the shows. Yeah, thank you. After what it feels like forever, trying to find work, I finally get something. The Z just got renovated. There are just only a couple of shows in, so I got to help out the actors and everything, and the dancers and all that stuff just a few days ago, and I can't wait to sign up for more gigs, and hopefully I'll get to be the sound tech one day.
Hi, my name is Deb, and congratulations, Tony Ann. I need people to sign up for 2 types of jobs. One is the nominating committee for the church for next year's group of people who are going to help run this place. And the other is, you may not have believed me when I said that I was going to stop being the treasurer, but June 30th is my last day. So we need to have some volunteer come, or possibly 2, and be able to be trained so that whoever that person is doesn't have to start on July 1st with not knowing anything about how the funds of this church go. So come talk to me, talk to Jess, talk to Karen. We need your help. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I wanted to have a candle lit for concern because I'm trying to find another job. If you can just give me like prayers or well wishes or good vibes to help me know where to look, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Judy, or Judith, and I just wanted to share with you something that I've just experienced. My daughter is a professional soprano, a singer, and she was part of a group starting last Thursday, online, that's a whole lot of people who lead song leading. And they do that all over the country, and in other countries, they lead people in songs. And this gathering of song leaders was called a worldwide summit, and my daughter was invited to be part of it. And if you got the ticket, you could listen to everybody and anything for the next 5 days. So Thursday, Friday, I was feeling very down, very depressed, very worried about the country. Sometimes it all just enters in and you start feeling awful and like you just have no idea what to do. But I spent the last 3 days listening to music, listening to wonderful singers, most of whom I had never heard of, singing various songs that they had written to lead everybody else in singing. And gradually, it just lifted. I began to feel better. I began to think, okay, fine, I'll stay here for another while. So I recommend to you anything that brings you pleasure, that brings you joy, whether it's music, taking a walk, although not in 10-degree weather probably, because you can get very down in these times, but there are ways to lift yourself up. So I'm recommending to you that you try that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rochelle, and I have a joy and a concern. My joy is that I've been spending a lot of time painting and listening to music just to try to, But because of the big, awful bill, my daughter-in-law and my 2 sisters, my daughter-in-law's an RN, my 2 sisters are social workers. Their grant has been, it will not be renewed after June 30th, so they lost their jobs. and their jobs were to, they're social workers in a dual diagnosis program from New Bedford to Cape Cod. So that's one grant that I know of, and it's affected 3 people in my family and countless others that they serve. So please keep them in your prayers. Thank you.
I just have a concern. My job, I drive a lot, and I thought maybe it'd be a place to bring it up, that when I'm driving, you know, there's the bus stops all the way up Route 6, and I always see people standing in Route 6 on the road because the bus stops have no place to stand. So I was thinking maybe it's a place to say, I'm doing it myself, is to call Mayor Mitchell, or if you're in Dartmouth, call Town of Dartmouth, even as far as Westport, and just to let them know that they should probably, if they have the buses going, they should probably be responsible to at least open a spot for people to stand, because people are literally in the road on Route 6 and cars are going around them, and it's kind of dangerous. So,
Thank you. If no one else has anything they would like to share, I will light a final 2 candles, as is our practice here. One for all the joys and concerns we keep in our hearts today, and one for all of those who have yet to find a safe and supportive place in which to share their joys and concerns. And now Randy will play our centering music.
The piece that Randy is about to play for us is from Scriabin. It's the Prelude, Opus 11, number 10. Thank you, Randy. Wow. This morning, let us deepen into these words from the late Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. I invite us now to enter into a time of prayer and meditation. Great love at the center, Spirit of life. May compassion and gentleness and love reach this collective, those here who are experiencing new beginnings, new jobs, searching for their next step. Spirit of love, be with those today who are experiencing endings against their will, endings. From the tides of life, the shifting winds, the endings that come in unexpected ways from really difficult places. Great Spirit of life, be with those who are abiding here. Spirit of love, in this time of change, bless this community with power and resilience against the powers that be who ask us to maintain, to embody, to even worship the status quo. Spirit of resistance, help us resist against the voices within those of us closer to power that call for comfort. May that comfort be afflicted, and may those afflicted be comforted. Spirit of love. In these shifting times, may we, against these forces, choose transformation of ourselves and our communities and our world. Beloveds, I invite us into a moment of silence to connect with our resilience and the roots of our strength. May we take a moment of silence and of comfortable breath for that. May this be so, in love and in peace. Ashe. Amen. Randy has more centering music for us, and this piece is from Griffiths, The Veil of Dreams, Opus 5, number 2. on March 25th, 1965, after a long and consequential journey from Selma, Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the steps of the Montgomery Capitol building and delivered a speech. I'll share a small part of that with you for our second reading. He said, "I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed to earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. How long? Not long, because you shall reap what you sow. How long? Not long. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." We have another song this morning, but I'm going to scoot down here to introduce it to you. Oh, I feel like I like this view much better. Can everyone hear me okay? Great, great. So this morning, we're going to teach you a song, and you're welcome as you learn little parts of it to sing along, or if you're like, you know what, today I just need to listen, that is also totally cool. You can stand, you can sit, you can move. Truly, and I know, listen, we're all from New England up in here, I think. Most of us maybe. And sometimes our culture is to be like, let yourself be connected. Let yourself loosen. Yes, Randy, let yourself loosen. This song is called Loosen, Loosen. And it's by a really incredible artist, multi-instrumentalist, Allie Halpert. And there are two parts. There's like an A part and a B part to the song. And I'll teach you both of them. So I'll teach you the A part first. So it'll be kind of a call and response. So let's try the first part together. Repeat after me. Loosen, loosen, baby. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. Good, cool, okay. That's the A part. And we'll be singing it a couple of times, so come in whenever you feel comfortable. The B part goes a little something like this, and you can repeat after me. I feel like you know the song, which is awesome. Sing it loud and proud, my friend. So here's the second part. It goes like this. Holy breath and holy name. Holy breath and holy name. Good. Will you ease this pain? Will you ease this pain? Good, and that's it for the B part. So we're going to sing it together, or sit back and listen. We'll do the A part twice, and the B part twice, then we'll come back and we'll do the A part once. Just follow me, And my friend here. Let's begin. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. And again, loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Now that B part. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? And again, holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? And A, once again, loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Blessings to all. Good job.
Now is the time in our service when we ask for your kind donations toward the many good works of this church. The piece that we just heard
was Bruns Preludium 1, Part 2. We heard the first part as the prelude. How long? How long? The prophet Martin Luther King Jr. surely knew how long we might be asking this question. Perhaps he understood the relative blip in the history of humanity that was the 1950s, the 1960s. Perhaps he imagined how short in the scheme of the arc of the moral universe that the 2010s and the 2020s would be. Perhaps he knew that history, like a circle, would come round and round again. The last few weeks have felt like months. Does anyone else feel that way? Like months. Time itself feels like it has slowed down for Venezuela and for Greenland and for Minneapolis, for Texas, for Maine, and for New Bedford. The world has changed, beloveds. And over the last year, we've each witnessed from our own positionalities and identities, perhaps from our shattered shells, how seismic the changes have been in our world. While what we witness remains rooted in the long history of colonialism and racism, I think everyone can probably agree that the world is altogether different now. However, the regime in control of this country promotes a skewed picture of what's been happening, a false narrative about what is evident, about what is true. PolitiFact called 2025 the year of lies. Takes my breath away. We've been spoon-fed a whole lot of reframed notions about the inherent worth and dignity of migrants, of trans and gender expansive people, and Black and brown communities in the eyes of the law. We've been told there is no starvation in Gaza, that gas and groceries cost less over the course of 2025, that there is rampant lawlessness that warrants the attempted deployment of the National Guard to our cities. We were told that Immigration and Customs Enforcement was tasked with going after the worst of the worst, quote unquote, in our communities. We were told that ICE's brutal slayings of multiple citizens this year, of Keith Porter and Renee Good and Alex Preddy and others, were warranted acts of self-defense. Over and over, we've been told that we cannot trust what we ourselves witness, that really the truth is owned and sold by those in power. Couple the twisting of abundantly evident truths with the existence of AI and its proliferation, and for many it's hard to know who or what to trust. Dear ones, all of this is by design. The co-opting, the weaponizing, the supremacy over truth, none of it is accidental, and truth beckons us to wake up. How long? How long does it take to emerge from our shells? Like our dragon pal here, we each have lived shrouded in our own world, made up of our own perceptions and truths. We build our little worlds based on who we are and how we're raised and under what circumstances we grow up. But sometimes a greater truth comes to crack open our shells. I saw a few of you raise your hand about, learning something at one point in your life that just like blew your mind. And I wonder, have you learned, I'll ask it maybe in a more specific way. I wonder if you have ever learned about a truth in life that has changed you. I totally have. Yeah, I feel that. Sociologist Dr. Bobby Harrow developed this theory about what we are talking about right now, and it's called the cycle of liberation. This theory tells us that at some point in our lives, we experience what she calls a critical incident. During this incident, something is learned that does not square with how we have understood life or our deeply held beliefs. And once this happens, if we're willing and able to recognize the dissonance that we feel, we can be changed forever. And our shells can be cracked wide open. And once that shell is cracked wide open, liberation can begin. When we're in this cycle, we look truth in the face, even when it hurts, even when it doesn't make sense to the person we used to be. We then reach out and build community and then become a part of a changing, wider world outside our shells. And hopefully, if we're doing something right, we don't stop searching for truth, right? We allow the world to continue to change us. And the cycle begins. Hopefully, we pray again and again. It's a lot of work to build up a lot of shells. I wonder if it'll get easier to smash them each time. It's a powerful blessing to be cracked open. By daring ourselves to connect with others across every blessed difference, we're not only changed, but we're liberated by the power of a greater truth beyond ourselves. Truths that say that all deserve to live in safety. Truths that say that dominant narratives erase diverse experiences. Truths that say that colonialism, racism, and slavery have created harmful systems that persist today. Truths that say that gender is the most beautiful spectrum we could ever behold across time and space and culture. Truths that say scientific consensus is reliable. And truths that say that migrants built what we call the United States of America. So what do we do when truths that are evident, truths that change people, truths that create a better world, what do we do when they're thrown into question by the powers that be? How long does it take to smash the world's shell? To change the world, we must root ourselves in what is. Plenty of philosophers have attempted to define the truth. That's a whole other sermon, and I ain't qualified to give it. Google may potentially be better than I am at that question about the exploration of what truth is. But we often think about universal truths, like the ones that help shape international law and science, or that truth can be relative and based on context, or both. But there's a third bit about truth that is important. The Reverend Dr. Pamela Lightsey, Black queer author, veteran, and vice president of student affairs at my alma mater, my seminary, shared this at the height of Trump's first term. Imagine all of us who've come from so many different contexts. We've all flown into Chicago. We're all sitting there in a classroom, and our shells are cracked open. All of us. Dr. Lightsey told us that truth doesn't need a militia. Truth doesn't need a militia. I don't know about you, but I've been spending a lot of time over the last year rehearsing arguments for the most evident of truths. Has anyone else been doing that? Like going like, okay, when I see this person today, here's what I'm gonna say, here's what I could say. Well, beloveds, here's a truth. The time for all that is done now. We don't have time, dear ones, to argue about things that are just as real and true as the existence of the sky, the oceans, the earth, the fact that there's a Dunkin' on every corner. We don't have time, beloveds, to argue about the existence of trans people and our right to health care. Time has run out, dear ones, to argue about the ways migrants bless this country by coming here, as indeed they built and continue to build this country. What is true about this world does not need to be proven. It needs to be protected. How long will it take? Martin Luther King Jr. said, not long, because no lie can live forever, because truth crushed to earth will rise again. And so, beloveds, don't lose heart. There's so much that remains unprecedented. We've heard that word plenty of times about this hot mess. But indeed, those who marched on Selma beside Martin Luther King Jr. knew better. Those who 250 years ago fought for independence from a colonial power knew better. Those indigenous people of this place, of this land, of this continent knew better. Those who organized for the right to vote, who fought against slavery, for the right to exist in wholeness, who arrived against all odds to build a life and a country, they all knew better. So feel what you feel, whether that's rage or confusion or helplessness. And from it all, nurture courage and discernment and connectedness. Notice what is distracting you from the fight and pay it no mind. Because you've got too much to lose. Because we've got too much to lose and too much to protect, to not let truth change us. May this be so, beloveds. Ashe, amen, and blessed be. Let us re-embody ourselves as we are in this moment, as we face this world with courage, and rise in body or spirit to join in our closing song, number 123, Spirit of Life.
Blow in the wind. life, the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
May we be uplifted and inspired for the week ahead with these words by Martin Luther King Jr. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. Know that each of us, in each of our positionalities and identities and beliefs and moments in this world, that they matter, that they create this beloved community, and may we harness this for the good of our world. It has been so wonderful to be with all of you, dear ones. Randy has a beautiful postlude for us. It's part 3 of the Bruns Preludium 1, part 3. Thank you, and please do feel very welcome to join us for coffee and refreshments and conversation downstairs. Be well, beloveds.